Welcome back to Startup Cabin Podcast. I'm Xue Mei Rhodin and you're listening to our Monday Minutes. And today I want to talk about a strategy that I advised a company on last week. And I call it the risk strategy, if you know the traditional board game. In our company, in Startup Cabin, our entrepreneurs program, we hold open office hours every month, and you can find it on our website, startupcabin.com, if you want to sign up for it. And what we do there is we have open office hours, meaning two advisors come and meet you on Skype, and you get to talk with us for 30 minutes for free about a problem you want to solve in your industry. It's a way for us to get to know you. It's a way for you to get to know us. And last week we had a startup that I'm not going to mention by name, but wanted advice on how to spread their startup. And this startup was the type where you need a lot of local businesses, local communities to catch on. So to get that kind of service going, you usually need to have a lot of like foot soldiers, pretty much, meaning that you need some kind of part-time workers or students or something that can go out and kind of spread the message. And they were stuck and didn't know really how to do this. They had got some really good ones in, like a local business, but they were spread all over the city. And they were kind of the same type of businesses, just in different communities in different parts of the city. Well, to do this smartly, if you want to take over a local market, you have to find the hubs of that city. So what I mean with hubs is, if you want to convince small business owners that they need your service, they usually want to know if everybody else is using it as well. Of course, it's part of, the psychology of the masses, the psychology of the tribe. So to take over one of those kind of tribes, you should take over a territory. So if you know the old-fashioned game that's called a risk, it's a super, super old game. It's been around forever. And the point of that game is that you have the world map. And on the world map, they have divided the continents into different continents, of course, but also in different territories within the continent. So different countries. To win in risk, you have to take over a territory, a full continent, to be able to be strong enough to spread to the next continent. So it's about finding and building your local community and then spreading forward. So what I mean by this, using the risk strategy or the conquer territory strategy, is that you can't go after businesses in a certain industry. In that case, you should rather go after a hot neighborhood. So in any city like Stockholm, New York, San Francisco, you have different sections of the city, different parts of the city, which is different territories. And to get those territories, and in the end, the whole city, you have to start at the most important hubs where the most people move around. So usually in these different territories, in different parts of the city, you have those special streets where everybody goes for coffee, for after work, for clubbing, for restaurants, where they live their city life outside of their apartments. So that's the places you want to take over. So it's about conquering. It's about taking over a whole street like that. It's the same way that a lot of startups actually has gone through Y Combinator and similar kind of accelerators in the US have done, but they've used universities. And because they used universities as kind of the spreading of their first startups, a lot of startups think that that's the only way to conquer a city or conquer a community. But if everybody's doing that, that's going to be a pretty saturated market, and they are going to be pretty tired of being pitched. So instead, go for the busy streets, the trendy hotspots, because those streets are a cultural thing. So if you think about the Upper East Side, the Upper West Side, you think about Brooklyn, you think about all these things in New York City. It's the same in Stockholm. We have the Upper East Side, which is Östermalm, and we have Söder, which is the south part. It's more like Brooklyn. And we have Vasastan, where I'm in right now, which is the west side. we have these different areas, and within each area you probably live and spend a lot of your time. So in that area you have special areas where you go to have these kind of, gatherings to socialize. So here in Vasastan is, for example, a street called Rörstrandsgatan, which is a street that is filled with restaurants, it's cafes, everything. Because when it became popular, of course, every other cafe and restaurant wanted to move there because that's where all the people came. And you usually have habits as a citizen going to the same places, and you go there because that's part of your lifestyle, that's part of your culture with your friends, with your family, etc. People who live on Söder, the south side here in Sweden, in Stockholm, of course they go to the regular places on the south side. That's part of their everyday lifestyle. So what you want to do is, you don't want to spread all over the place. You don't want to go to different kind of cultural lifestyle places. You want to take over one first. Conquer one territory well, and then move over to the next one. Because what happens if you have a service that you spread all over the local cafes, bars, hairdressers, anything in a neighborhood? Well, everybody who lives there is going to notice it. And everybody who brings their friends there regularly are going to notice it. So you have this same cultural kind of understanding between that little group, and spread it with that group first. So you start talking about it as a group. If I see the same thing all over the place in different areas, I'm not going to think about it. But if my whole neighborhood has the same kind of tag everywhere on the windows for all of the restaurants, or all of the cafes, or all of the stores, I'm going to start to notice, because I'm going to walk past those streets probably every day, several times a day. And it's the same streets I'm going to bring my friends and everyone I sit down and talk to in a social setting. So if you can conquer that small territory, the impact of that is so much bigger than spreading, all over the city. Because that doesn't give you a social incentive to talk about that at all. And that's what I want you to think about. If you have this kind of business where you have to take over cities in different ways, think about conquering small, busy areas, conquering a cultural lifestyle setting first, and then spreading forward. Often when I get companies that come for me to get advice, they are so busy thinking about all the opportunities that they have or feel they have. I don't think it's opportunities. It's just like talking nonsense. We can do this, we can do that, we can do, the third part, this fourth thing. Doesn't matter. You have to start somewhere. And to get going, it's easier if you pick a small area that becomes concrete in your head. Because if it's concrete for you to explain and to tell someone, you can get foot soldiers, meaning people who can take, part-time jobs to spread your message, or pitch small businesses, like going around the whole neighborhood and doing that. Because you can tell them, this is the street. Go to every cafe on this street and report back to me. That's a simple action, a simple task to give to someone. When you start just talking about random opportunities and ways you could do things, you're not taking decisions, and you're not making it easy for someone to know what you want. So your team and your employees are not going to translate that into action. You have to be action-oriented. So think about this. Have you heard this before? The risk strategy, the conquer territory strategy, and do you think it would work for your business? And maybe you have other kind of territories, other types of territories that are not based on cities that you think about. I just want to put this out there because sometimes when people think of Uber and other kind of companies that have taken over cities, they think they just do it like that. Well, they can't do it like that. After they have done the first city, after they have conquered every small territory and lifestyle hub in New York City, then they can get enough cash and enough investments to go and conquer a whole city. But in each city, you still have to go for the small territories to, in the end, get the whole city. And after you get the whole city, which is in risk strategy, the whole continent, you can move forward because then you have the strength to move forward. Thank you so much for listening to us today, and I hope you got some real good feedback and insights from this. If you want to sign up for our office hours, you can go to startupcabin.com to find that. And I really, really like this strategy, and it's very, very easy to explain to entrepreneurs. I realize when I do this that it becomes so concrete and so understandable that they actually take action, and that's what I want. So nice to talk to you guys, and I hope you enjoy this, and let's talk in the next episode.